Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and locations. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, my dear viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're meeting my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do all to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thought about this video in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video, and I will see you towards the end.
So we're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The Central Bank of Nigeria has asked financial institutions in the country to obtain the social media handle, email addresses, telephone numbers, residential addresses, and more of their customers. This forms part of its new customer due diligence regulations and is in a bid to further deepen the identification process in the banking system. The Apex Bank disclosed this in its newly released Central Bank of Nigeria Customer Due Diligence Regulations 2023 document. The CBN states that its new regulation was created to provide additional customer due diligence measures for financial institutions under its regulatory purview. Well, this is a new development, and Nigerians are asking that with the BVN, NIMC, utility bills, phone numbers, and of course email addresses and other documents, all this should be enough to track any fraudulent and illicit movement of funds. Let's speak to RISE analyst Frank Tete on the legality of this new requirement by the CBN. Frank, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you.
This is bothersome. Most Nigerians have kicked against it. Many Nigerians have said this is intruding into their privacy. What do you make of this new CBN's request?
Well, there is an expression of serious ineptitude on the part of those who have been managing our data for a long time. And it's also a failure of the National Identity Management Commission that is supposed to be a central processing body of data in Nigeria until the enactment of the Nigeria Data Protection Act by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently. Now, if you talk about the law, Section 37 of the Constitution protects the privacy of all personal information, starting from correspondences and other personal information, sensitive information of every Nigerian. Not much has been done to protect the information, personal information of Nigerians. It's so brazen, the breach is so brazen, and because it has almost become a norm, you even see, let's not even talk about banking, because I have a whole lot to interrogate on that. You now see that because the norm, you see estate surveyors and estate agents, before they even give houses in places like Lagos and Abuja, they even request that people should submit their passport photographs, their bank accounts, the bank statements for them to scrutinize. What I think is discriminatory. That is how much disrespect we have for the personal data of our citizens in this country. As for the banks, it's becoming a violation too far. Because if you look at the average teller, the average qualification of a teller in the qualification of an average teller in a bank is probably WASC, school certificate, or OND. Yet that teller has access to the information, the bank statements, the bank transaction of not only the customers of that bank where he works, but for several other banks, in terms of talking about BVN and all that. Forgetting the fact that privacy is a major cornerstone of banking in across the entire world. If you wonder why politicians in Africa, particularly Nigeria, abuse the idea of foreign accounts, it's because in those foreign banks offer a lot of privacy, secrecy, banking secrecy.
I agree with it. Then, Frank, see, I know about due diligence when it comes to the banking industry. If you're not politically exposed, if you do not have an international business, or you're into real estate, or you're a car dealer, then you're not a high-risk customer. So your account should be reviewed maybe once in 3 years or 2 years. But those who are politically exposed or those who are high-risk customers, these ones I've mentioned, can then be reviewed maybe every 6 months. So can they just limit? What about if the limits this request of social media handles and all that and other private information to those who are politically exposed and other high risk customers? What about that?
I don't think there shouldn't be any discrimination against anybody as a result of whether he's a politician or not.
No, it's not really. No, it's not. It's not really discrimination. That's the system.
We've done so much to counter terrorism and money laundering in this country, yet it keeps increasing. It festers because that's the reason why I raised the issue of ineptitude in data management. And it has grown with so much disrespect for the individual's fundamental right of privacy. We're happy that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assented to the law, to Data Protection Act of 2023. Nevertheless, look, in 2020, when Netflix aired Social Dilemma, a film that was actually a documentary that exposed how Silicon Valley and the social media companies, Facebook, Google, and the rest of them, actually have used data collected from users as a way of manipulating their own decisions. In fact, it changes the fact that marketing is no longer, the objective of marketing is no longer about products or things. It's now about people. So social media is now a means of collecting information to sell people's attention to marketers. To producers. So when you see in Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria asking, because it was a major revelation that people are now the things being sold on social media by the way the data is being used and to manipulate people's decisions. It happens during electionary period, and it happens during decision making in terms of big tech advertising. Now, for a central bank to now insist that social media handles be part of due diligence, know your customer basis, it's a major violation of the Constitution, because we are still trying to interrogate the new law that the president signed into law. And it states that there are certain sensitive pieces of information that you cannot collect as a data collector, as a bank. That is, you cannot collect any information that will give any form of inference as to your political or religious belief.
Let me jump in.
And social media, it's nothing else than social media can show how much a person believes in terms of ideology.
Yes, let me jump in, Frank. What if this is a new administration? What if the CBN is coming up with this request of policy because maybe they got some form of intelligence about terrorism? Hang on there.
What does CBN have to do with terrorism?
Hang on. Maybe they got some intelligence about terrorism financing, and then they now feel that the way to go about it is to clamping on customers.
Don't forget, we have a Money Laundering Act. We also have the Anti-Terrorism Act. Now, the EFCC, oftentimes, and you can see it has done very well in the way it has constantly given public education on the need for the special control unit on against money laundering, the SCOMO number, to which legal practitioners like myself, we all complied with, and supplying some details, giving obligations that we will report certain kind of transactions that pass through our offices or through our financial institutions. That makes some sense. We're talking about anti-corruption, anti-money laundering, but we're talking about a bank that should concentrate on its making serious monetary policies that will enhance the economy, and then it is now trying to brazenly violate the fundamental rights of Nigerians, contrary to Section 37 of the Constitution, mandating that Nigerians should give their social media handle. We must look closely at the new data protection law that emphasizes the consent of the user, the consent of the person involved, that is the data subject. In this case, the bank, some of these policies, when they make them, you wonder whether the people who make them are in touch with the
current realities.
yes, the cross-cutting issues, because you can't now say on what basis. Now it's shameful, very, very shameful, that despite all of the data we have collected about us, we are unable to translate it into, accurate policy making that will, translate into one positive development for the socio-economic condition of this country. It doesn't happen. So it seems as if that these policies are made to just, people want to appear as if they are working, whereas, and they think that the only way to do so is to make life difficult for citizens. I just told you how other banks in other climes make banking very attractive to the extent that Nigerians are willing, especially unfortunately politically exposed persons, are willing to steal the country's money and go and put there.
Now, Frank, let me jump right there. Let me jump right there.
Who brings money to Nigeria? Who brings money to Africa? And then you make it difficult even for your own citizens to open accounts. And then you want to do managing it.
I feel your passion, Frank. I feel your passion, honestly. But then let's also remember that all they're asking for is the social media handle.
It is against the law.
Hang on,
it's against the law. It's against the data protection law.
Hang on,
it's against the constitution.
They're not asking for your login details. No, they're just asking for the handle so they could monitor your activities on social media.
It. Monitor.
Hang on,
monitor.
Frank.
It's a huge violation.
Hang on, Frank.
Where is privacy?
Now, well, some have said the CBN is coming up with this so they could clamp down on those who do business online, so they can effectively monitor the tax regime. So making more tax anyway.
Look, let me tell you this. Yeah. Look, I hate ineptitude and I hate mediocrity. When there's a Cyber Crimes Act already in existence that has the EFCC as the principal agency of government that implements it. When you talk, does the bank not have work to do? That it's now, and let me tell you this, I just told you about Social Dilemma. It was a blockbuster film on Netflix that exposed to the entire world what happens to people's social media handles, how the social media has become the central point for marketing human beings. I'm talking about their essence, their consciousness, and then a bank will not be careful enough. A central bank, the apex bank, will not be sensitive enough to realize that it is going too far. A central bank mandating. Just imagine the manner it does that. It's mandating, and then before you know it, we'll now be talking about accounts being blocked because you didn't supply your Facebook account your details, or not details in terms of a password, but in terms of your ID. You didn't supply that on Twitter. You didn't supply that on LinkedIn. Who does that in this modern world? And and we allow that, whereas we just had a new law saying that you cannot take certain data from Nigerians except they give you consent. What kind of this confusion that they are engaged in? It's unnecessary.
A good place to to leave the subject for tonight. Thank you very much, Frank Tete. I quite appreciate your concerns, and your passion is acknowledged. We just hope that the CBN will have a rethink about this so that the constitutional rights of Nigerians to privacy will not be violated.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Please kindly leave your thoughts in the comment section. I will see you again in my next one. Bye for now.